Hey, church family. Happy Wednesday, and a word for Wednesday from one of my favorite places in the state of Ohio. I'm here in Marietta, Ohio. Going to be speaking this evening at 6th and Washington for their summer series program, which I have done for 15 years or so. Always a treat to come down here. But I take a break from that to share with you an encouraging word, as we typically try to do on Wednesdays. You know, this view that I'm sitting here enjoying is absolutely gorgeous. A tugboat just went that way and another is coming downstream as we speak. I was able to see some pleasure craft go by a few moments ago that were a really pretty boat. It's a beautiful day and there's much here to focus on that's beautiful. And yet, you know, if I chose to, I could look right over the edge of this little outcropping, and just over the edge there's flotsam, jetsam, driftwood. There a moment ago was a vulture that was feasting on a dead fish or something at the edge of the water. There's a lot of geese, which means there's a lot of residue of a lot of geese. The point that I'm making is that I can choose to see the beauty of this scene, or I can focus on the not so beautiful things of this scene. And that's really the way so much of life is, isn't it? So much of life is dependent on where it is that we choose to set our gaze, where it is that we choose to look, what it is that we intentionally seek out and give our conscious attentions to. And I think there's some admonition from the Bible about that subject. The psalmist says something about this in Psalm 16. In 16, it talks about putting your eyes on Jesus, and putting your eyes on God, and how important that is. How important it is that we constantly be putting our gaze on Him, that we be placing our focus on Him. This is a theme that's picked up all throughout the Bible. In Hebrews chapter 12, the second verse, it talks about fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who with joy endured the cross and despising its shame. You know the verse, but the point there that I'm making is that it's where we place our eyes. We place our eyes on Jesus. We place our eyes on God. We look to Him and we find our strength there. How do we go about doing that? You know, you might think to yourself, I'm in a negative cycle. I'm thinking about negative things. I'm focusing on negative things. Well, way back in the book of 1 Chronicles, the author of that book, speaking on God's behalf, says in chapter 22, set your heart and mind always on God. Set your heart and mind always on God. So here's the challenge. Are you in that negative spin? Are you seeing the negative things and focusing on the negative things of life? Make the conscious effort to decide when you find yourself in that negative spin, when you realize and recognize, I'm doing it again. Take that moment to focus your heart and your mind on God, your heart and your mind. So take a moment and think about some of the beautiful things and ways that God has related to us emotionally, how He has spoken to your heart. His compassion, His grace, His love, His kindness, His mercy, His long-suffering. But then give some thought to your mind. And think about all the things that God has intellectually done. The realization of His majesty, His power, a recognition or a grappling of His might and His awe-inspiring presence in all things. Focus your heart and mind on God, and you'll find that your eyes follow. And your eyes gravitating to God, gravitating towards Jesus, will see not only the direction that He lays out for you, but will see all the beauty, positivity, and optimism that this world offers, as well as your particular place in it, and how God is at work to make sure you have the opportunity to make a difference as part of His plan. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday, and be safe. We look forward to seeing you again very soon.